Once upon a time, there was a curious little rabbit named Benny who lived in a peaceful meadow with his family and friends. Benny loved to explore and discover new things, and one day he stumbled upon a beautiful garden filled with colorful flowers and delicious fruits. The garden belonged to an old woman named Mrs. Smith, who lived in a cozy cottage at the edge of the meadow. Mrs. Smith was a kind and gentle woman who loved all animals, and she welcomed Benny into her garden with open arms. Benny was delighted by the garden and spent hours exploring every corner of it. He tasted the sweet nectar of the flowers, nibbled on the ripe fruit, and even made friends with the insects that lived there. But one day, Benny noticed that the garden was starting to change. The flowers were wilting, the fruit was rotting, and the insects were disappearing. Benny wondered what was happening, and he decided to ask Mrs. Smith. Mrs. Smith explained to Benny that the garden needed water and nutrients to thrive, but she was getting too old to take care of it properly. She asked Benny if he would be willing to help her take care of the garden, and Benny eagerly agreed. Benny worked hard to water the plants, pull the weeds, and fertilize the soil. He even recruited his friends to help him, and they all worked together to bring the garden back to life. As the garden began to flourish once again, Benny realized that he had learned an important lesson. He had learned that taking care of the environment was important, and that everyone could make a difference if they worked together. Benny continued to help Mrs. Smith with her garden, and he even started his own garden in the meadow. He shared his knowledge and experience with his friends and family, and soon the entire meadow was filled with beautiful gardens and healthy plants. As Benny grew older, he became known as the gardening rabbit and was respected and admired by all the animals of the meadow. He continued to work hard to protect the environment and teach others about the importance of caring for the earth. And so, Benny's legacy lived on, inspiring generations of rabbits and other animals to care for the environment and work towards a brighter future. His story reminds us that even the smallest actions can make a big difference, and that taking care of the earth is everyone's responsibility.